Internet. Not doing a review today. This is just a video to talk about different game news and industry stuff, mostly just because we could all use a distraction right now. I mean, not that it's not fun hearing about, pandemics and apocalypse and the end of days and all of that, but this will give us a chance to get a nice break. And yes, you may have noticed that I'm wearing the same shirt as I was the other day when I did the review. I don't have any excuse, I just happen to be wearing the same shirt. I know, I'm gross. Sorry, deal with it. Just consider yourself lucky that I'm actually wearing pants. Now let's talk about games. First, NES development is actually going strong right now, believe it or not, thanks to Kickstarter, and everyone should be happy about that. I know there are Kickstarter campaigns for 3 different games that I personally backed that ended successfully recently, those being Aira the Crow Maiden, Ploids, and Flea. And then there's also one that I backed that's ending in another week, and you should all check out, called Trophy. Yes, this is the one I expressed some annoyance about due to my not getting one of the press review carts, and I'm still slightly annoyed about that, but, I don't want to deny everyone else the chance to get what looks like actually a really fun game, so I will give them a shout out here and direct you over to their Kickstarter in the links below if you want to go check it out for yourself. Into news for a slightly newer Nintendo console, there was a mini direct a few days ago, maybe a week ago, I don't even know what it was, for the Nintendo Switch. Mostly they announced a lot of games coming to the console digitally, a lot of demos or full game downloads are available right away, if not very shortly. And some of those are really exciting, but I'll get into those in a bit. The main takeaway I had from the mini direct, and I know a lot of people did too, is actually one of the more underwhelming things, and that is the announcement of the next character for Smash. And when I say announcement, I don't actually mean announcement like they've always done, I mean more of a casual indifference to giving us some information.
The fighter included in Wave 6 of the paid Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC will be... joining the battle from ARMS.
As you all just saw, it was very low energy, very blah. Like, it really seemed like they were just giving us information and didn't really care. Which is the exact opposite of every character announcement we've had for Smash up till now. And honestly, I'm really super disappointed. Not that it's an ARMS character. I mean, I didn't play the game, so I don't care as much, but I also didn't really care about Terry from Final Fight or the umpteenth character from Fire Emblem. It's not an issue of not caring about the character, it's that the announcement is always so fun. There's always, flash and presentation and something to really just kind of liven it up. And this had none of that. This was just, hey, here's a thing we're gonna do, okay, bye. Without that energy, it doesn't do a lot to make people want to buy the character pass if they haven't already, or to even just jump in and play the game again, which is usually what these announcements do. They make you want to get back into the game. And speaking of games you should get back into, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is definitely one of them. And apparently that game is one that's seeing a huge swell of popularity right now in the UK. Sales have almost doubled across the board over there, and the game is actually #1 on the top selling charts in France for, I think, the 8th or 9th week in a row right now. And also, the game was just released in China for the first time. So with online multiplayer being a thing, this is definitely a game you should jump back into if you aren't already playing it, and you probably should be. And I mean, even if you're stuck at home, grab whatever friends you have in the house and, show each other why you hate each other by blue shelling each other to death in this game, and I said each other way too many times in that sentence. And if you don't have friends, don't worry, that's fine. You can always play by yourself. Now's your chance to finally go through Gold Trophy every single championship and unlock Golden Mario. Me personally, I'm just hoping this is the catalyst to finally getting more DLC in the game, because we haven't gotten any since it got the re-release on the Switch, and right now we could really use a character pack of, like, let's say 3 characters from Mario 2. Give me Birdo and Wart and Tri-Glide. And while we're at it, you gotta release new tracks with it, so give us an 8-pack, 2 championships, which is what they'd always done, and give us 1 base on each world for Mario 3. That would be pretty badass. Just saying, do that, Nintendo. And on the topic of old Mario games, Nintendo actually just dropped a hell of a bombshell on us with the announcement that for Mario's 35th anniversary, they would be releasing remasters of a lot of the old games on the Switch. They didn't specify which ones would or would not make the cut, but I think it's been substantiated now that Mario 64, and Mario Galaxy and Mario Sunshine have all been confirmed for remasters, and that's amazing. Mario 64 with better textures and proper camera controls would just be the greatest thing, and it's definitely what we all need right now. And like I said earlier, since we're celebrating Mario and doing all of this, we should get that DLC in Mario Kart. See? Mario game, Mario DLC, it works. And while we're at it, why don't you give us Geno in Smash? I mean, Mario RPG, it's the Mario game no one talks about, but it's one of the best, and come on, everyone wants that character. Just make it happen, Sakurai. But now I'll switch gears for a second and stop talking about Nintendo, or at least not entirely Nintendo-centric. Limited run games. If you don't know, that's a site that I have given way too much money, and they take digital-only games and release them on physical media. Well, right now, they have a bunch of stuff up that you should all be aware of. First and foremost, usually they operate in very small batches, hence the name limited run games. They'll do a limited run of anywhere between like 1,500 to 5,000 copies of the game. You have to jump on right when they launch it and get your pre-order in, or it's gone. But because of, the whole end of the world apocalypse thing going on, they've decided to open pre-orders, meaning many people as want one can order one, and that's how many they'll produce. And they're doing this for usually a set of like 3 or 4 weeks, so you really got a chance to find the time, find the money, and get in there and order what you want. And right now, there's going to be a lot that you want. They have a special edition box set of Shadowgate, the remastered version of Shadowgate, but still, for both the PS4 and the Switch, and that looks pretty legit. If you don't know the game, I reviewed it a while back. It has one of the best soundtracks from any game in the NES library. The PC remake had an okay soundtrack. They kind of slowed down a lot of the tracks and pulled the impact out of it, but it's still a solid game. And this remaster on the PS4 and Switch, I don't think is either of those versions. I think it's a complete recreation, reimagination, remaster, whatever you want to call it, from the creators of the original game. So give it a shot, check it out, and definitely buy it at Limited Run Games. You'll be happy you did. Also, as they announced in the mini direct around the Switch, Panzer Dragoon is getting a remastered re-release on the Switch, and Limited Run Games has that too. And they also have a special edition, which is $20 more, so in this time, a bit hefty of a price, because there's not much in the special edition, but the one cool thing you do get is a Sega Saturn long box that fits, the Switch game, cartridge and case and all that. So it's really cool, it fits everything, it looks great. I mean, you could actually put it on the shelf with your Saturn games and it would fit right in. The problem is, like I said, it's $20 extra just for that long box. So you can decide on your own whether that's worth the price or not, but either way, you should definitely get the game because Panzer Dragoon is definitely worth the money, and that's also up on Limited Run Games right now. Additionally, Sega is also doing their anniversary thing this year, and they've been announcing and celebrating things throughout the year, and will probably continue to do so, assuming we don't all die. And another thing they have on Limited Run Games right now is Bluetooth controllers for both the Genesis and the Saturn. And these are not, knockoff controllers that Limited Run is just doing on their own. These are actually officially licensed through Sega. They're high quality. They're really good, legit controllers. So you can also pick those up. Oddly enough, the Bluetooth receiver is only available for the Saturn. For whatever reason, the Genesis one isn't on Limited Runs right now, but you can find it on Amazon really easy. It's pretty cheap. I ordered one Friday. It already came in, and I think it was like $12. So, and this also officially licensed by Sega. It's a real thing. It's not some knockoff. So check that out if you're a Sega fan. If you want to break out your old consoles or even the analog versions of the old console, then do the thing. And lastly, and then I promise I'll shut up about Limited Run. Friday they're dropping Indigo Prophecy or Fahrenheit, depending on what region you're in, And if you weren't familiar with the game, it was a big deal when it came out. It's definitely going to be a big deal now that I get to play it again on my PS4. You should all look at it. It's pretty great. But enough about Limited Run. On other things, Animal Crossing came out recently. There's not a lot of news here. Everyone in the entire world is playing it, so anything I can tell you, you already know. I was just mentioning the fact that, hey, it did come out. And this is also a reminder that if you haven't done so already today, you should get on and, check your turnip prices. Also, go log on to the computer and get your daily bonus of Nook Miles. Do the things. You gotta do it. Come on. It's not like you're doing anything else. You're sitting here watching me on YouTube. So finish the video first, but then go do that. Oh, here's some fun industry news. The flaming garbage heap of a sinking ship, the SS Dumpster Fire, if you will, that is GameStop. They've really just been shooting themselves in the foot a lot lately. The first bit of news that I'm sure you all heard was that they decided they were an essential service, despite being told that they were not by government, and have actually been instructing their employees to continue trying to work anyway, even though they don't have proper cleaning equipment and are being told by local authorities not to, and have also encouraged their employees to get into arguments with the police or whoever tries to shut down their establishments. And it's not ended well. Aside from all the bad press from employees speaking out and fans, if you will, online saying that that is absolutely the wrong move. But at least one local mayor in a town where they had their businesses and weren't shutting them down, the mayor pulled their business license, so they're not shut down temporarily. They can no longer operate in that city. So not a good look for GameStop. And to make matters worse, not too long ago they mentioned that they are pulling in Reggie from Nintendo. You all know Reggie. And they have put him on the board of directors. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm not thrilled to think that they're going to take him down with the rest of the company here. He's too good for them. Like, GameStop is basically everything that's wrong with the game industry, or at least the embodiment of it. And Reggie is the opposite of that. He's like this pure, innocent, great thing that we all need in games. And just those two things should never be related. And honestly, even with him on board, it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough to save them, because they have announced that they will be closing several hundred locations this year. And I don't think they mean temporarily due to the virus. I think they mean they're closed, which is great. Some of you might not agree with me. Some of you, that might be your only place to go buy video games. And trust me, I understand. I'm in the middle of freaking nowhere. Getting games can be difficult sometimes. That company is the worst. I'm saying this not just as a collector who shopped there on occasion, but as someone who has worked there and seen firsthand how poorly they treat their employees, their customers, their merchandise. They need to go under, and I could not be happier than to see this company finally just shutter their doors and die. If you really want to support games, retail, and physical versions of games, find your local game store. Find, a guy that opened it on himself. He's there every day, running the store on his own. That's the person you need to support. Buy your games from that guy. Trust me, even if it's $1 or $2 more, he's going to take better care of the games. He's going to know a lot more about them and recommend good ones for you. There are definitely great game stores out there. GameStop is just not one of them. And while I'm talking about companies dropping the ball, because apparently even in my good news video I need to be negative, Niantic is really, really pooping the bed with Pokemon Go. Yes, I said poop in the bed. Like I mentioned a while back, I'm trying to be more PC with these videos. But basically, if you haven't heard, Pokemon Go, they've tried to update it or release little things to basically cater to the pandemic and everyone's inability to go outside. However, all it really does is highlight even further how impossible the game is to play if you live in a rural backwoods town, like this one. You see, they've shortened egg hatching times. They've tried to remove a lot of your daily research tasks that involve going to gyms or raids or walking X amount. They've made lures last a lot longer so they can bring Pokemon to you. They've made all these improvements. The problem is, you live in a small town where your nearest Pokemon stop, and you probably only have less than 10 of them within a reasonable range from you, if that stop is 10 to 15 minutes away, you can't go get your research tasks. You're not going to get any new eggs. You're not even going to have the Pokeballs to catch the things that you lure to you. Basically, the game is unplayable in small towns. I mean, it always has been. It's been hard to be competitive when you don't have stops and gyms every 3 feet. There are people in New York City who can sit on their couch and reach 5 stops, 2 gyms, and have several Pokemon nests underneath them. Don't get me wrong, New York City needs the win right now, trust me, so good on them. But for the rest of us, I don't know, it just makes me want to play the game even less. They did a special event recently that normally I would have bought into, and I didn't even log in, let alone buy the pass to do the event. And I think they had one of the special Pokemon days where you can catch a shiny whatever, and I don't know, I haven't logged in like a month or so, and I probably won't anytime soon, if at all again. Really, it's run its course. If you're in a city, I'm sure the game is still great, but for the rest of us, they don't seem to care about us, so I'm going to stop wasting the time and money. But enough of my whining and on to something a little more important. And this is actually something I just found out about while writing the script for this video. And that's that Strictly Limited Games, another company that releases previously digital-only games on a physical medium, they are releasing Bubble Bobble for Friends. That's not the news. They did pre-orders forever ago. I already got my order in. The news is they're finally shipping. In fact, I got the announcement, I think 2 days ago, that mine was in the mail. But what's even better is that they got some feedback from a lot of players that had ordered or that had played the digital version of the game and said, hey, the game's great, but it could really use a bit more content. I mean, Bubble Bobble was always a short game. I mean, you could easily do it in a sitting. I've actually done it. It's one of the very few games I've beat. Taito heard and complied with this feedback, and they are actually releasing a free expansion DLC pack thing that will give you a lot more stages and levels, as well as just enhanced gameplay, and honestly, that's pretty cool. Anytime a company listens to their fans and their feedback and acts on it is great. But the fact that it's free and they acknowledge that this is something that should be accessible to everybody and just a part of the game, that's really cool. And Strictly Limited is also, I think, working on a way to roll that DLC onto a cart with the game in the effort of preservation, because that is one of their goals going forward. So there might be a later release later. So if you didn't pre-order the game already, now might be your chance. I'll link to their site down at the bottom below. There's going to be links to all the crap I'm talking about down in the thing. So just read the 900-mile description and you can see all the stuff. Okay, and the last thing I will mention is probably the happiest and coolest thing I'm going to mention. And it's actually a fun animated short video about Isabelle from Animal Crossing and Doom Guy from Doom. Now, if you're unaware, Animal Crossing and Doom both released earlier this month on the 20th. And because they had the same day, the fan bases of the games decided that they were going to celebrate with each other, which is weird that there exists a cross-section of fandom between those games, at least one big enough to produce this, but boy did they turn out. There was just a flood of fan art and little crossover drawings and just all sorts of things online between the two games, and as unlikely as it is, it really seems like everyone from either side was excited for both games to release. But the best thing I've seen about that is this video that I mentioned, where someone actually did a nice animated short just showing the two characters getting along and how they're spending their off time, and it's just really fun. I would show you the video here, but honestly, I think the artist that created it deserves the support, so a link to his video is also down in the description somewhere. If nothing else, definitely click that one. Watch the video. He deserves the extra views and likes, and you will like it. So yeah, do that. Check it out. It's fun. It's happy. It'll take maybe a minute of your time. It's just something cool for your day. And that's all I have for now. So if this quarantine goes on for a while and this stupid respiratory virus thing I have doesn't kill me, maybe I'll do more of these. If you liked it, let me know. And if you didn't, I guess just keep that to yourself, because I really need the self-esteem boost right now. No, if you like the music in the video too, by the way, they were songs taken from OC Remix. Links to those down there somewhere too. Links to all the other stuff I talked about, like I said. And basically, I guess just, go do whatever. Go check out that video for sure. Go play Animal Crossing. Go Kickstart Trophy if you want a new NES game, or get some of those other pre-orders from Limited Run if you want some newer games. And most importantly, go f*** yourself GameStop.